Kanpai! Welcome, weebs, to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast. Today, we're doing a bit of a interesting ad hoc-ish topic, which is anime did it first. And there are a number of examples of this, some which we can't go into because there was only a manga adaptation, there was only the manga of it. Some, well, it turns out the Western stuff came out first, but anyway, let's
exactly at the same time.
Or exactly at the same time. But anyway, let's go into the housekeeping. So, pretty much bog standard housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe, and all the other YouTube malarkey. We do read all the posts. I shouldn't have had my drink because now I'm feeling gassy. Please go into the Discord, which there'll be a link in the description below, and feel free to submit your own viewer memes. We do love them all, even if we don't get to see them.
Anime intros and outros in the anime OP thread. Post your favorite waifus in Thaylien's waifu addiction. Post your favorite toys in Xeno's obsessive toy collecting, which I don't think is a thing yet, but should be.
Sure. We can do that. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind taking photos of my crap. Yeah. So feel free to do that. And I think that's it for that. Should we just get on with the show itself?
Sure.
Right. Okay. Who wants to intro this? Because I don't,
Okay, so this is one of mine. This is my suggestion. NASA said something that sparked off the thought, hang on, anime did that first. And I just went looking for the examples of where anime, because it's not considered as mainstream in America, especially not back when a lot of these movies and series came out. Some of the plagiarism and some of the inspiration taken is downright almost cloning. Yeah. And then there's, documented interviews with directors that said, oh yeah, no, I was really influenced by this style or this set of outfits or this storyline. And they want to create something themselves. And it was like, it's one of those copy your homework, but just change it up enough so that it looks different.
Yeah.
But when you actually compare them, there is so many similarities between anime or manga and what's come out in Hollywood and in the West as live action things. And we have seen so many bad anime adaptations into live action. But yet they take the story really well and just adapt it into something completely different. Why the dichotomy in that way? Why the complete contrast in effect? When they try to do an anime, they can't get it right. But when they try to steal from an anime, they get it really spot on.
I think as these pictures are cycling through the background, there's also a couple of other thoughts that come to mind. There's the ones where people have said it's plagiarism, but in the end, aren't they both just telling a classic story that is relatable? And the other one is when people have attributed, oh, you must have been influenced by X anime, but really that they have nothing to do with it. They're like, oh, I've never actually watched that one. Yeah.
No, there is a few of those. I think the one that surprised us during conversation about it was when we were originally listing Mad Max and Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Mad Max actually came out in 1979, whereas Fist of the North Star started its manga line in 1983.
Yeah.
So it's probably the other way around. But historically, animation from both sides have had massive influences on each other.
Although, I would add that the first Mad Max is extremely different from the second and third.
Yes, it is. But it's still that setting.
Anyway, yeah.
So, and there are others, like, there's also false kind of attributions, like James Cameron's Avatar. Everyone looks at it and says, oh, but it's just Pocahontas. And yes, you can see
Ferngully.
A bit of Ferngully. Ferngully is kind of fun, but it's, you've got that. But when you actually break it down, it's not quite the same at all, because yes, you've got the similar theming of a man goes to another world and finds his place among the people there rather than his own people. And then,
but in reality,
in the Pocahontas story, he was injured and had to go home. Whereas when you actually, as I say, break it down, Princess Mononoke is almost spot on as a match for it. So, I mean,
you've got a guy who was part of a military force, kind of fighting against.
He was a guardian of his village.
Yeah,
he's a guardian of his village. He's injured, and he goes to another place to find. Well, basically, because he's like outcast from his own people, and has to go and find a new place to be, and a way to cure his own curse, which is exactly what Jake Sully was offered. He was offered a way to get his legs back in the form of the Avatar program.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a different circumstance for it. He's an injured man going to a new place, and starts to find his place there.
Nature and
the people that he knows are literally a mining operation in both cases. Without out in Mononoke, it's for gold and coal, and in Avatar, it's for unobtainium. It's just a new shiny rock, which is pretty much equivalent. There's a strong-minded person in charge that is going to in Mononoke's case, it's a lead female type where she's taking all of the consideration and all of the needs of her people and putting them first. In Avatar, there is that character, but it's split between the two characters. One is the ruthless, goal-oriented and profits-oriented guy, and the other is the leader of the Avatar program who has to take care of her people and find out about the planet to try and get the best results by getting to know the people there.
Sorry, just to back up, are we talking about Sigourney Weaver's character, the last one you just put? Yeah, okay,
yes, cool. Not the asshole military guy.
Okay.
No, there is the asshole military guy does exist, and there is equivalent character in the movie in Mononoke as well. Mm-hmm. And so, rather than in a way, you have to figure out how to commune with the spirits of the forest, and in the end, the nature wins out by the spirits of the forest actually fighting back and sending their creatures to die in a fight against the humans. It's only by the intervention of our guy that there is any resolution at all between them. They would have just crashed together and killed each other off had he not actually intervened.
Again, it's been some time since I watched Mononoke. Did our main protagonist ever get cured?
Yes, he bathed his arm in the waters of the spirit pond, where the Lord of the Forest had blessed the pond.
How early in the film was that?
Oh, it's actually a while out. I think it's a late second act thing.
Right, but so again, there's a cause and effect here, because one could argue he got his cure. He didn't have to hang around, but he did it for the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you could argue the same thing with our main protagonist in Avatar. Like, he got his cure. He didn't have to hang around.
He could have stuck with the humans and done human things, but he learned about the forest and communed with the spirits and found what the right thing to do was that way.
Yeah.
So it's he actually, even though he did his job to expose the heart of the forest to the humans, he didn't mean to do it at the end. He wanted to stop. He wanted to change his ways and move on to the actual thing. So it's an amazing similarity between these two.
Yeah.
And I feel that comparing, say, Avatar to Pocahontas is just a little too shallow when you have something like Mononoke to actually, provide direct plot comparisons to.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, there's plenty of others. Shall we
we got a big list here.
Great examples.
But here's a question, right? So there's definitely more similar. Well, I mean, we're arguing here, but there's definitely more I keep saying definitely when I don't mean to. We're arguing that there's more similarities between Princess Mononoke and Avatar, right? James Cameron's Avatar. Cool, fine, not a problem. But the question here is, does there need to be recognition? Does James Cameron have to outwardly turn around and say, like,
no,
hey ho, yeah?
It's entirely possible that somebody could come up with the same idea independently of that. It's there's a term for it, but I can't remember what it is.
Parallel evolution.
Parallel evolution. Thanks, Thaylien. Yep.
Yes. So there can be equally that, but this is the thing that many people don't realize is that yes, the parallel evolution idea does exist, but it can simply be that the script writers or the original idea, the way the plot line came from, is of course born from things that people will have seen.
Sure.
And it's really nice to recognize that there were earlier movies that did, earlier movies, earlier series, earlier things that inspired these. But
and of course, the more
the recognition
archetypal
should
the
be
story,
there.
the more likely it is to share similarities with something else. And I would say that these both fit very archetypal stories of the man out of water who learns to embrace the other rather than reject them.
So, you compare that though. So this one is a really, as it nicely says, it's an archetypal story, right? But there are others out there that are less archetypal. They're more personal stories, as it were, and seeing the comparison between them and a show or a movie that came out earlier just kind of makes you think, is this an uncredited influence here that maybe should be?
Well, again, like I find this to be very believable because, well, Alita Battle Angel, right?
Right.
You know who the director is? Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
And it's
right. And
it's
you know
James
who
Cameron
the
movie?
Yeah, it's the producer's James Cameron, because James Cameron wanted to do Battle Angel Alita for decades. He held on to the rights for them for fucking decades to do a Western production, but he never had he didn't feel like the technology was there to actually do it yet.
So if he's already a fan of one anime, it's likely he would be a fan of, especially one as well known as Mononoke, or
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I agree entirely.
All right.
Yeah. So the one I like is where the directors actually said that they don't, the anime did not influence their own film, right? Is Black Swan, okay? Which is a story about a.
I don't think I have Perfect Blue in this group of.
No, don't worry.
Oh no! Oh well.
Do we have it in the system?
We should have it in the system.
Ooh, we might. Anyway, continue, Thaylien. I'll look.
So
there it is.
The story of Theory of Black Swan. The story of Black Swan is a dancer for a prestigious ballet company. Slowly starts to question her own sanity as she imagines and sees strange events unfolding before her, and because she wants to be cast in the lead role as the Black Swan. She loses herself in the role as she attempts to portray that character, and eventually becomes paranoid and obsessive about all the people around her. Right? And the director, who was it? Darren Aronofsky's. Aronofsky. He repeatedly claims that Perfect Blue didn't influence the film. However, it's really similar. Okay, they're too obvious to kind of deny. In the anime, the successful J-pop artist Mima Kirigo, decides to pursue a change of career and become an actress, and she's aware that some of the music fans have become upset over the change. She becomes increasingly anxious as places start to appear claiming to be her. And after several of her new colleagues are murdered, to be against to question her insanity and involvement with the crime, going as far as to think she had some form of split personality disorder. And like Black Swan, Perfect Blue is really ambiguous on how it presents the factual information of the film. You know, the Perfect Blue has a definitive ending. Black Swan doesn't. But the unsettling events that go on are almost identical, down to some of the shots in the movie, to try and show how paranoid the character's becoming. You know,
now the argument could be made that when you're trying to show that a character is paranoid, oftentimes there's a language to film, right? And a lot of the low angle shots imply dominance, power. When you're looking up at a character, it implies that character has like power and dominance. So you could say that there's that sort of thing going on as well. But
so there are cinematic choices, like when the character's moving past a mirror, for example, and the character themselves doesn't see it, but to show how the character's feeling, the mirror image is a vastly
Something
different
else.
expression.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a scowl or like sweating and angry about something, and the shots are very similar. You think that's not a stylistic choice to show the character's frame of mind that could be easily accounted for by parallel evolution. You know, it's something that one did, and it looks so good that you could easily imagine another director saying, that's a shot I want to imitate. It's too close, if you said it. So, but in that one, as I say, the Aronofsky denies the rumors, denies the claims that there are a lot of similarities, and actually says that no, he'd never seen the film. It never influenced anything he was doing. So,
and that's entirely possible
until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
I do feel though that though I understand where the director of Black Swan's coming from, as far as I understand and comprehend the whole process of filmmaking, it is not a one-man team.
Yeah.
It's a huge collaborative effort. So even though he may have not been influenced himself by Black Swan, there may have been a substantial number of the creative crew that
who had seen Perfect Blue and wanted to, and suggested these things.
Yeah, not even just seen Perfect Blue, but have gone out of their way to find source material that is of a similar nature, of this whole
maybe they saw
psychosomatic
story and went out researching other media. I'm with you.
You know, because the whole of anime has been heavily inspired by the works of Disney, right? You can't directly say at any point in time that they look alike, right? Maybe in the super early days, right?
Astro Boy,
but
you could argue Astro Boy looks a lot like a Mickey Mouse character or something. Or sorry,
that's kind of why. That's kind of why I double back.
Hair looking like Mickey Mouse ears, for example, or exactly in the same place as them.
Oh, I think the feet
and the
are a dead giveaway, but
the feet,
But regardless, it's evolved so much. But all of the anime industry claims that they see their roots in Disney, right? Mm-hmm. And you can easily see I think
right here the big eye design and the smallest, it's almost identical to the way they styled the original Snow White.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
So
wait, which
Snow White? So Snow White's
The Disney Snow, the
animated-
original Disney Snow
the Disney
White.
Snow White. So the very first animated movie, feature-length animated movie with Snow White.
Oh, sorry.
And-
Yes. No, I was thinking of Snow White herself, and I'm like, I don't remember having her, but I think she's the only character that doesn't have massive eyes. She's pretty much rotoscoped throughout the entire movie, isn't she?
Yeah, no. Snow White in the actual anime movie does have purposefully bigger eyes to make her look innocent.
Does she?
So, because that's the thing. It's the first fully animated movie, so there wasn't a lot of techniques like rotoscoping in that sense. So there were where people would film an actress doing something and then animate using the cells. But look at her eyes. It's bringing it up on screen now. She's got big round eyes. Yeah, she's got big round eyes. She's got almost no nose, and she's got a very round facial shape with only a minimally defined chin.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of detail on the character to help with the artist and help with the animation.
Can we have a look at other images as well, Nasuth?
Sure.
So the design is quite simple, but it's designed to evoke innocence.
No, but we can.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah. So we're seeing more and more things as we go through.
That's because her eyes are like closed as she's happy with the.
I mean, the thing that this does differently that the anime does not is that the lips are fully animated as well. But you can see the same tricks, like the shape of the tongue in the mouth, the top teeth, but no bottom teeth in most shots when she's got her mouth open.
Yeah.
Little things like that were used in early anime as well, and a lot of manga, definitely. So the minimalist eyebrows. Yeah,
so what's wrong with that forehead? Anyway,
yes,
right.
Exactly. So some of them are quite off model as well when you actually stop because of the same things. So that's again, anime took a lot of influence from that first.
Okay, and we came right back
style.
to this picture when we put the browser down. Nice.
Yes. So you can see the big eyes with the clear lashes, the very thin eyebrows, the barely defined nose, and the simplified chin. Many anime take pride in going more detailed to make their characters look more mature or more sinister or things like that. But that's also a Disney thing. If you were asked to go back to Snow White and look up the Wicked Witch in that one, when the evil queen turns out as the Wicked Witch, the same amount of lines and shadows appear on her face as any sinister anime character does, and it's impressive. So yes, animation has influenced itself back and forth.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Nearly, how long is it now? Nearly 100 years.
Ooh,
no, I think no. It's no. It really is because there's the whole Disney 100 movie thing going on. Either it has gone or
true.
So I think it is 100.
100 years of Disney. So even if it wasn't Snow White, wasn't at the very first one, because of course we had the Merry Melodies, Silly Symphonies kind of thing going on before that. The animation. Betty Boop as a character was an animated short, and that before there was an animated feature movie, and that character looks remarkably like it would fit into the original Astro Boy manga.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of influence, but you get these. Okay, let's pivot this slightly to a movie that took the concepts but not the plot, and that's Paprika.
Okay.
So because
I think this is also the same director too.
Because it's everybody can see the similarities between the technology in this and the technology in Inception. Inception is a heist movie, and it's designed around the concept of putting people into a dream, going into the dream, and then going even deeper, getting lower down into the dream levels until the person reveals information that they normally wouldn't. because they're dreaming. Okay,
well,
but also
it's all about
it's real.
It's all about the subconscious layer, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and in the case of Paprika, they go into a dreaming world to solve a crime. Okay? And Paprika herself is a character that the protagonist has created to protect themselves against the dangers in the dreaming world. So they actually inhabit a character in their own dream to enter other people's dreams. And the way it works out, you get some really weird imagery, like this split where somebody else's mind has taken over a person and is causing their dreams to warp because a different person's controlling the actions of a dreamer.
Actually, there's sorry to tangent. Obviously, Paprika and Inception have been very closely compared to a lot. One other show that I think, one Western show that I think has a lot of influence from Paprika is Rick and Morty. The whole surrealist landscape that Paprika abides by, right, I feel is so prominent in Rick and Morty. Not the whole dreamception shenanigans. I mean, yes, they parried that in one episode. I'm talking about the fact that you have like these creatures of like disproportionate size. You have weird mutations of characters. Like, oh, I suddenly have tentacles for an arm. We literally just saw that on the screen 2 seconds ago, right? Yes. I do feel that Paprika has had a huge impact on the surrealist side of animation in terms of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, even the really simple ones where you have those moments where I think my favourite moment in the film, because the combination of the music and the feel of what they're doing, is when Paprika dives into a new person's dream and dives through a cloud and comes out of it dressed like Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, and riding on Nimbus. Yes, and she's riding on Nimbus and has the power pole to surf down to the dreamscape below. And it's only a very short bit of it. It's like a 30-second bit as she's getting in there and then reporting back to the person on the outside that she's in the dream and what's there. And she doesn't maintain that. She goes back to normal again when she lands, but it's almost entirely unnecessary for her to have done that, except to show how free it can be in a dream. And how much you can change things and influence things if you are in control of one. So I love moments like that when you actually get that. And it's the same thing with the surrealist nature, because when you take a dream, the most bizarre things can flip around and be normal. You deal with something that's completely bizarre in the real world as a normal thing in a dream because it's just what's happening. So, it comes back to this Rick and Morty thing. The setting of Rick and Morty is they're going to worlds where things are different, things are bizarre, and so they have to introduce things that make the bizarre normal.
Yeah.
It works really well, and I think that's exactly the kind of thing that's inspired across the lines from one to the other. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'd say Rick and Morty is more inspired by Freakazoid, but to each their own.
Yes. And of course, Freakazoid was The Mask before that.
Well, no, I thought Freakazoid was before The Mask.
I'll have to double check that.
But anyway, one comparison that again really widely talked about, I feel, is the comparison of Ghost in the Shell and The Matrix. Yeah. I also feel that there's also ties with Johnny Mnemonic. However, Nasuth has another comparison, but he can't remember what the name of that anime is.
What it is.
So we're sticking with Ghost of the Shell. And I think one of the really interesting sides of Ghost in the Shell is where it goes fully embracive of the whole, cybernetics, the whole, people and machines becoming one, the fully cyberpunk nature of everything. I feel that the Matrix tried to go as far as it could before they felt that their audience would have such a huge disconnect with the with what they were watching, because I think in Japan they have this huge
almost transhumanist kind of push,
not just that,
in terms of their fiction as well.
Yeah, it's more a case of like they have this acceptance, this community-wide acceptance of pushing the envelope, right? And that will actually lead on to my next comparison. But I feel that in the Western world, even in the UK, we don't like the idea of things pushing the envelope. We like things to remain the norm. We like, our jobs to, be stacking shelves day in, day out, and nothing changes. Yeah. And this is why I think there's such a big limitation on the differences between the Matrix and what Ghost in the Shell. I mean, take into consideration, we have characters that are hacking each other by diving into each other, right? Literally.
Yes.
We have the whole making people think something else is going on.
Yes.
Becoming more than they actually are able to. You get the idea.
Yeah. So I love to make that connection. Is the ghost hacking of Ghost in the Shell, where they implant fake memories, fake life, and convince a person of something so thoroughly that that person will even like take a picture out of their pocket and look at it fondly, saying it's their wife and daughter, but it's not. It's just a picture of them and a random dog on the street. Yeah, and the character, the person doesn't even know until questioned on it. So, what is your daughter's name? And it's only when you start doing that, they realize that this person has actually had his memories, that the bits that make him who he is, completely hacked. The true terror of this begins. And so the Matrix takes that like to the nth degree. It goes completely to the thing of they're running humans in a simulated world. So none of their memories are real. None of their experiences are real. They've done nothing in their lives.
But then that argues the question, what is real? Right? And this is a question that Ghost in the Shell even asks. What counts as being real?
What counts as being a human? How much do you have to be human on the outside or the inside before without being fully flesh and blood? A woman with a full body prosthetic and just being a brain. How does she even know she's still a woman?
One of my favorite subtle philosophical questions that Ghost in the Shell asks with no words in and of itself is when Motoko sees an exact copy of her own prosthetic like on the street, right? I would have
wearing fashion in a window of a shop, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And it's just like, the psychology behind that. It's nice and subtle, because like, how would anyone react to that? And she sort of just stares at it and just continues on. We don't know what's going through her head. We have no inkling whatsoever. But again, this would have been something I would have loved to have seen the Matrix address, but I think it would have blown people's minds. Nasuth, you kind of recoiled when I said the whole, like, the Western world doesn't like this sort of pushing the envelope.
No. It was more the because I would say that it was the philosophical stuff, and how Western audiences kind of seem to shy away from that a little bit. And I think you're right, because when you look at 2 and 3, where part of what was wrong with one of them was the insane orgy scene, but other than that, 3 especially, when they really started to delve into a lot of the philosophy in the Matrix, that really turned off a lot of audiences. And
the orgy scene.
You don't remember the orgy scene in the Matrix 2?
It's billed as a party scene in Zion.
Yeah.
Oh God! Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And
I thought you meant the cake. Then I thought you meant the woman with the cake. In 2, right?
Okay. No, I don't remember. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I think that, and also I think that the Matrix, or that clearly the scene that you just laid out with Motoko seeing herself, I think that shows that Ghost in the Shell handled it way better than the Matrix, because the Matrix could not get away with that kind of subtlety, really.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
there's something about it where in animation, especially with anime, they're not afraid to hold a scene with no dialogue and no explanation directly, and you have to pick up from context. You have to imagine what the character is thinking in that moment, and it's very difficult for a lot of people to do that. So when you're going for big action movies like The Matrix was, you have to have a lot more...
a lot of action, a lot of spelling it out for the audience, a lot of...
Yes. Well, because otherwise there ends up being YouTube channels explaining the movie to the people that didn't get it.
Yeah. I mean, to tangent ever so slightly to really hit my point, Demon Slayer, right? Demon Slayer is a real simple series, right? It is flashy animation. It looks very pretty, but it is what's it called, the Arnold Schwarzenegger of anime-ness, right?
Sure,
it is like, right? It's nothing super special, but it is well animated. It looks great. It is dumb fun, right? One of my friends hates Demon Slayer because of the internal monologues, right?
I can understand
because
that.
it's, but no, because it's unrealistic. And I'm like,
in some cases, it does feel that way though, because these internal monologues seem to go on while things are, while people are moving ever so slightly or shifting around, and it's like, yeah, but this is taking minutes. Why are we sitting here for minutes of real time while they think in their head? You don't think in your head that slowly most of the time.
Right, but do you mean that quickly?
No, that slowly. Usually when you're thinking in your own head, you think relatively quickly. But in anime, when they're doing their internal monologues, it's really slow and drawn out, and it seems to pass in real time.
Right, but at the same time, like, they could have like whole conversations as they're, taking a step forward. Right? It's like
it's a dramatic timing thing, not an internal thing. Here's a point of view you may.
But I'm just explaining why that can take somebody out. I think that takes somebody out more than, because at least when they're saying something, there's actual interaction. Sorry, Thaylien, but there's actual interaction going on at least.
But my argument here is, and I'm sorry, Thaylien, my argument here is, how often do people just, like, as they're working, just start talking about what they're doing, right? Out loud, verbally, as opposed to, when you're doing the edits, Nasuth, how often, for Notice We Send By, how often are you saying to yourself, now I will choose to cut this here and remove this slice of audio, and you're saying this out loud. Now I will add in this funny picture.
But not like that dramatically. It's usually like,
oh,
that's a bad picture, I can't use that. I need to find it.
Yeah. Externalizing your monologues is actually really, really common, and people used to call it out as talking to yourself, but it's not. It's like externalizing your internal monologue to organize your brain. And that's actually really common. I do it all the time, and so do quite a lot of the people I work with.
That's interesting.
But point of view you may not have considered. The person that thinks that your internal monologue is not
Realistic.
it's not realistic. May not be an internal monologue thinker. They may be an image thinker.
Yes, I'm aware of this. There is actually a psyche of individual that have no internal monologue, right?
Yes.
They do not think
have all internal
like
monologues.
Well, I said like we do. Yeah. I mean, like it's moving pictures like anime. Anyway,
so if they want to recall something, they actually relive the memory. They don't talk about the memory in their own head, or repeat the conversation in their own head.
Yeah.
So surprising amount of people do that. So yeah. So that could be why it's not realistic. To think words in your own head seems a bit odd to them.
However, going back to my other comparison that I really wanted to do, I was hesitant to do this, but Nasuth agreed with me on this one, and that's Berserk and Game of Thrones, right? So
I was hesitant on it at first, but Zeno kind of brought me around.
So, I mean, the big thing with Berserk is you have this this medieval fantasy setting. We're talking like, low fantasy. We're not talking like magic and stuff like this. We're talking like, it's the power of man swinging a sword around. And you have the political intrigue where you have nations fighting other nations. You have the espionage side of things where people are backstabbing each other. Now, a large part of Berserk is it's told from effectively one group's point of view. You do get the odd point of view with
the nobles.
What's it called? Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, so the nobles, right?
But that's more of an audience view on it, less their story.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, but with Game of Thrones, and I'd probably argue this is more the series than it is the books.
The books, yeah.
Is the fact that, there's a huge, diverse character base, which as a result means that they're jumping all over the ship. The great thing about Berserk is, they kept all the characters in one place, so they didn't have to fucking do that all the goddamn time. But where it differs greatly is the dark, rancid side of the human psyche, right? Where Berserk will truly deep dive into what people will and will not do.
Especially when pushed to the extremes.
Yeah, Game of Thrones barely touches upon that.
Well, it's surface level. It's a lot of it. Surface level. So with all of the violence,
it's shock value,
sexuality.
Rather than,
yes,
rather than actual deep exploration of what's happening.
There's a bit of intrigue.
Yeah,
there's a bit of Wincest in there going on. I'm not,
No, but I
add the extra syllable on there just to make it
also
for YouTube. But no, there's that going on. There's all of these, but they're all. This is happening.
It's just shock value,
not why and what's pushed them that far.
No, but if you think about it, right? I think your comparison there with the Wincest is absolutely spot on, right? That was something that was really prominent and relevant to the first season. And then absolutely any, any equally disgusting thing just doesn't exist in the series, right? Yeah, okay, fine. You have people killing people. You have events like the Red Wedding, right? But you don't have.
Oh, that violence. It's so passé.
Well, they have violence, but it's again surface violence for shock value. They stab a woman and a baby. That's just shock value.
Yeah. So, but like, you know, if you've read the manga, I mean, we're not really comparing the manga here to, but the manga of Berserk, like, dear God, Guts' backstory is so much more tragic than the anime even fucking tells us, right?
But even in the anime,
his back shots.
You see Guts when he kills the kid, or the very end, and how that like traumatizes
kills
him.
The kid,
or when he goes to assassinate the guy and ends up also killing the kid.
The uncle and his son.
I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but it's like halfway through, or where immediately after that, when Griffith kind of rejects him without knowing it, without realizing that he's there. And then of course the whole ending where we see the other dark side of humanity.
And what's Game of Thrones is equivalent? Oh, it's is it the White Walkers? Oh, they're not even human, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to point out one thing about Berserk that makes it just genuinely, as it begins, deeper than Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Right? And I believe it's the opening chapter of the manga, where Guts is in prison. He's been, he's hurt and he's in danger, and there is the spirit of a plant that joins him because he's got the demon mark on him.
No, that's not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, because it seemed to be. I think it was one of the very first parts of the manga. This little creature he's able to borrow take one of his leaves to put it on his wound for healing. And the little creature is so enthusiastic to be helping somebody out. He just keeps putting leaves on him to help heal him, and doesn't even realize that he's taking away his own life with his leaves. And we're not quite sure if the little thing actually died or not. It wasn't spelled out to us, but Guts recovers from his wounds and takes him out and plants him into a field of other flowers.
No, that's not before the Golden Age. I don't recognize that at all.
No, because the Golden Age in the manga didn't start until
that's what Scene was saying. He's already gotten past.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about. It's not. I'm sure it's really early on. First,
I think it's after, because I don't recognize that at all.
You don't? Okay, because I started reading Berserk, and that was one of the first things I remember from starting.
It's also possible.
That's not what I remember.
It's also possible that Xeno's just Golden Age arc.
That bit.
It is quite possible, but
because it's right in the introduction when he's I think he puts the crossbow bolts through a person's face from his repeating crossbow arm, the mounted thing on his arm, and it's just the first thing that we really see to show his interaction with the spirit, with the non-humans, and
the first time we see
that whole section is just the way it's handled, the way Guts reacts to this, and the kindness he shows versus the violence he showed towards humanity only at the start of that chapter was such a stark contrast, and most of it without words.
I might have to go back to this because, I mean, the first thing I remember, first Guts' interaction with any non-human I remember, aside from the very first thing, is how he treats Puck like absolute shit. I don't remember anything else prior to that. So, and then it goes into the GoldenAge arc. So, anyway, well, actually, no, there's a bit more. Then it goes into the Golden Age arc. Right, should we... Nasuth, you haven't put anything forward. Do you want to put something forward, Nasuth?
Well, so what else we have on here? Oh, what was the one that was compared to... Oh, nah. Let's do. Sorry, my brain is struggling here for a second. Often
Kimba the White Lion?
Pacific Rim gets compared to Evangelion, right? And you can kind of see it. There are these giant robots that are much more humanoid shaped than, say, Gundams or a lot of other real robots.
Yes.
But the writer and directors have both stated that they hadn't watched Eva before making this. However, the one that he did say he had seen and you could consider an inspiration was Patlabor.
Yes,
because it's a much more realistic take on the genre than, say, your Super Robots or your mecha, your other mecha series.
Absolutely,
it's another real robot series. Yeah.
So a lot of the you're right. A lot of the mecha in Pacific Rim is designed to feel very, very slow because of how big it is and the technology they actually use to make these Jaegers. So they have terminology like there's 16 diesel engine force on the arm joints.
It's 50 motors per muscle fiber sort of thing. It's like,
per muscle fiber. Yeah, to get that thing. And Gypsy Danger running on nuclear and the others. They're designed. They are big, heavy machines. And that really does compare with the way the labors are handled. They're work machines.
And you have to be trained to use them.
Gundams.
You can't just climb in one and be like, oh yeah, I can pilot this because I have burning spirit.
I mean,
yeah,
I 100% get this. I mean, I think that there's also more of a relationship with other shows like Gridman, more tokusatsu-based stuff, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have said things like Godzilla, which I don't agree with because Godzilla's fighting other monsters, so that's a kaiju
if it is
fighting
Godzilla,
a kaiju.
It would be like Godzilla and Ultraman
Jet
fighting
Jaguar?
other monsters. Or Jet Jaguar,
So again, it's
I do want to be clear though. He didn't say that. He didn't like confirm that this was an inspiration. He just said like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that," and maybe it did inspire me, subconsciously. He didn't actually directly say that,
or at least influence. But yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And again, go on.
No. Carry on. I was just going to interject another little point in there for the mecha.
And I think, again, it's like really important when you look at stuff like G Gundam, right? So G Gundam is one of the only Gundam series where the pilot is making the Gundam move via it mimicking the pilot's moves, right? So, because most mecha are always piloted via like joysticks
Hand
and
controls, yeah.
Yes, like pedals and stuff like that. Or even Escaflowne. Escaflowne would be another one where the movements of the pilot inside are exactly the same as that of the mech.
Yeah. Yes, because that's exactly where I was going to go with the Toyota Mecha. Because you look at the movements they make in when you're piloting a Jaeger, the walking, the things where they have to sync up and do their like gestures to make things happen. It's Escaflowne in that respect. Escaflowne has all those physical things they're manipulating. Even when Escaflowne turns into the dragon mode, he's literally holding reins that he's puppeteering the machine with.
Yeah.
With multiple cords on them, so he can actually pull the controls like that. So Escaflowne is a great example of an influence that must have been there for when they designed the Jaeger cockpits.
Yeah. So it's again, I wouldn't be surprised if I mean, because I've done it. Like, whenever I've looked at a Gundam series and like, aha, joysticks, yeah, this is making the Gundam move, and like, how are you moving it? How? Yeah. I don't understand. So I can appreciate that a lot.
Do you think that's off the original one?
What do you mean?
Okay, the original transforming robot anime was... Oh, hang on, let me look this up. Brave Raideen. Okay, this was 1975, the first transforming robot companion. I looked this one up because it influenced Optimus Prime, basically. The character of Optimus Prime was based off Brave Raideen. And he was a fully transforming robot that transformed into a jet. And so in jet form, he had joystick controls. So many of the anime since have compared piloting a giant robot to piloting a jet rather than being an actual robot first. They're an aircraft. Or,
I don't know.
A thing for going, it's a transport rather than a robot.
I see where you're going with this, but at the same time, I don't know, because I think there's also the animation restrictions. Even though in G Gundam and Escaflowne, our pilots' movements dictated the movements of the mech. The animations used for Van Fennel, King of Orphanalia, was always the bloody same, right?
Yes, it was.
You get the idea. So...
Wow, was it really 2002? Okay.
Nasuth is looking up something else to then segue.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that the other one I wanted to talk about didn't actually come before one of them. So yeah.
Well, should we segue?
Sure. So the other one I wanted to talk about is interesting because Zeno and I talked about this a bit, and we feel it's actually kind of inspired by what?
And Thaylien. Those are three of us.
And Thaylien. Thaylien was the one who brought it up initially, but yeah. And we kind of came up with the decision that it's really sort of inspired by two different ones, and that is Firefly. And I think I'm with Thaylien that the most obvious comparison, and the one I remember being thrown around at the time, was Outlaw Star. Because it's a ragtag crew. You've got the girl in the box in the case of Melfina, I can't remember the sister's name. River, yes, who both have like an amazing mental capacity that other people just don't have. They're all rogues and criminals and blah blah blah, and they're following.
You've got your muscle head. You've got your samurai type.
Sure, yeah.
But and of course you had Jane in Thingy, and you had instead of being a samurai type, you had Inara being the beautiful black-haired companion.
No, I would have said oh shit, what's her name?
Aisha?
No. Fuck, Wash's wife. What's Wash's wife?
Oh yes, you're absolutely
Zoe.
right.
Oh, yes.
So Zoe and Twilight Suzuka, and then you have James is obviously replaced in place of
Mal.
I know everyone's favourite engineer.
Oh, sorry. You mean Jim? Kaylee,
and then
Jean is Mal,
and then you have the other side characters being replaced by the ship itself.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the Doctor would be clearly the Outlaw Star itself.
Yes.
Shit, what was the AI called?
Starts with a G.
G? No, was it?
Hey.
Was it G?
Oh, shit. Huh?
No.
James was the mechanic. This was Jim.
No, Jeeves, I said.
Oh, no, sorry.
Like Butler.
Gilliam 2, I think.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yes.
kind of feel Gilliam was the doctor, the brother.
Yeah.
Yes, but he also takes place as Shepherd Book in that sense as well, because he's like
That's true.
But yeah, you also have a force that's like chasing them down because they have this super special thing that they want back, or it's the key to a super powerful thing. Yeah, so there's a lot of comparisons there to make, and I agree. I totally agree with Thaylien. This is probably the biggest influence on it, if there's any. But I also agree with Xeno that a lot of the tone of how the characters behave comes from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah.
Like the situations very, very, even the archetypes potentially very, very Outlaw Star, but the interactions, the dialogue, the wittiness, the kind of methodical mystery that they go through in a lot of the episodes definitely comes from this.
Well, it also feels like the adrift nature of the ragtag team, I would argue, is more akin to Cowboy Bebop than Outlaw Star, right?
Yeah, there's definitely that sense that this group is it's
They
old
can come and go whenever.
Gene and Spike's thing of you don't do the job, we don't eat. You can fully see Mal coming to the table with a plate of just fried bell peppers, and Wash going, "You said bell peppers and beef. This is bell peppers and beef. What's the beef? Well, you got
you don't work. You don't get beef.
On the last job, you broke the wing off my goddamn ship, on my Goram ship. You broke the wing off my Goram ship, so that's where the beef went."
Yeah,
you could have that conversation. Yeah, and so you could imagine them having that same conversation where one of them explained to the other why they don't have fucking food. And you even have that same thing. You could have that the apple conversation where Kaylee and River and Shepherd Book just munch on some apples, and Kaylee asks why Mal and Zoe cut their apples.
Yeah,
and you could have Gene and Jet, having Jet and Spike telling them, "You ever hear of a popper? It's a grenade that's about the size of a battery, and enemy side threw out a whole load of apples, and this guy bit down on an apple, and suddenly there's just a man that ends at the rib cage."
Also, the very rundown setting is very similar too. Yeah,
exactly. Where you could see the Bebop having like one of its shielding panels fall off in the intro sequence. It's that's aesthetic. It's the aesthetic, but with the plot driving them that Outlaw Star had.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's a good way to put
it. So a single plot.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's actually one more I would like to do.
Is it this one?
It is.
So good, because that's what I wanted to do too.
Btooom. So what have you added that for?
Okay.
Tell me about this.
Right. So Btooom, if you're unaware, is a battle royale series, because I couldn't get battle royale into the system. And realistically, Btooom acts entirely as a metaphor for battle royale, right?
A stand-in.
Because the comparison here is not Btooom, but battle royale and the Hunger Games.
Yes, indeedy.
Now, I know the author has come back and said, "I've never heard of battle royale."
I call bullshit.
But at the same time, so the whole idea here is the whole battle royale side of things, where you have people that are thrust into a situation they don't want to be in. You have your characters that are overtly cocky and think that they can walk this because they have superior training, superior skills. I know in the Battle Royale movies, there's one character that pretty much just voluntarily comes back
Yeah, he won a battle royale before, and he volunteered for it.
Yeah, and then he volunteers to come back for the second one, and is like, "What the fuck?" You get your equipment out in the field, out in the wild. You have to survive. You have to be the last one standing, sort of thing. And that's. Which one am I describing here? Am I describing Hunger Games, or am I describing Battle Royale, or am I describing both? Right? Mm-hmm. The only real difference between the Hunger Games and any of these Battle Royales is the showmanship or the showboating that happens prior to the actual Battle Royale itself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So where Btooom, where Battle Royale, where a lot of these shows and series and movies come from, they will always just throw you in the mix of it. Whereas I'm damn well sure the Hunger Games spent the first 2/3 of the movie just showboating. Hey, yeah.
I mean, even Squid Game had minimal setup before it got you into it, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So here's something I did note, because I actually read the Hunger Games books.
Yep.
And in the Hunger Games books, the author is smart enough to explain why their main character is actually different from the people around them, why they would volunteer to cover for somebody else, and why they do have a chance at succeeding at the Hunger Games in the first place. Uh-huh. Right? And that's what the start of the film is supposed to do, but it's really badly done. The films are poor attempts at the books, and the books are poor attempts at a battle royale in the first place. But the whole
cash grabs to try and get that tween audience.
Yeah, but the thing that they were trying to do, as the young adult book it was, is to try and play on this idea of an actual society built around the Hunger Games and why it had to be overthrown. Revolutionary and be special, not because you are just born special, but because you have the right mentality to get involved, and then you win your fame and influence the right way, and that makes you a public figure to then change the world. So it was supposed to do that, and they weren't. It's a young adult one, so it has the usual failings of that genre, at least the Western young adult stuff. But the movies didn't quite capture the good parts of the books.
I feel that's an understatement.
Yes. But that's the thing. If you don't capture the good parts of the books, you're only left with the bad parts of the books. And those bad parts of the books weren't good at all. Mm-hmm. So when you have these obvious comparisons to a battle royale genre in and of itself, a lot of people forget that things like the actual battle royale movie, the original live action battle royale movie, did have some build up to it in the first place. It did let you get to know the characters a little bit, if only to give you a bit of reason for the ending of it and for the motivation of the character in charge of it all. And so you meet the survivor, the innocent that's actually that they want to survive. You see the cruelty of the other kids and why the battle royale thing has been this classroom has been selected to go out for battle royale in the first place. You see some of the aspects of that, and you have that build up, but you are more or less thrown into it. And I think that things like the Hunger Games could have benefited more from that
more minimal setup. Yeah,
minimal setup, and then show maybe through flashbacks to make the Hunger Games themselves feel longer and more important.
Yeah.
The actual things that make this character stand out and why she's making the decisions she is. So, yeah, I mean, this is simply a case where maybe they could have taken more influence.
Yeah,
we did it. Everyone, we fixed
right in the first place.
Well, here's a question for you, right? Do you think that a lot of Western audiences, myself included, all of us here, do you think we struggle with narratives that jump around, with timelines?
In generality, yes. In specifics, no.
Yeah,
But
I think that's right. That's probably right.
It's the overall thing of yes with an if, no with a but. So,
yeah, because
Go on.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I think that the Hunger Games would have felt so much more impressive as a movie or as a franchise if it felt like the Hunger Games dragged on, as if it was like, they cut back to certain events and things.
Mm-hmm.
Put more emphasis.
Maybe it puts emphasis on the time, so you have a big title thing of day one, and you have the initial scramble. Then you have, when it settles down in the Hunger Games itself, you have a flashback to the thing explaining more about how they got there, or from the very start. So you're starting the Hunger Games, and you're also starting her story in the flashback. Then you do a few more cuts back in between, and then you have another big point as a thing, day two, and then
I think if it's more of a parallel thing like that, rather than 3 or 4 different stories at the same time, people would have an easier time with it.
So the whole yes with an if, yes, people struggle with time jump stories where you're telling 2 stories at the same time. If you take us in a generality, because there is that factor that many people find it hard to keep track of 2 stories at once. And, so
2 stories is easier than 5.
2 stories is easier than 5. But if you have the 2 stories in the same movie, there are people that struggle with that, and you have to be aware of them. So you have to put more emphasis on showing that it's 2 different separate stories, separate times.
A lot of times you'll see a slightly different color tone when it's like in the past. It'll be a little more gray or a little more blue.
Yeah, like this.
And the no with a but is where people don't actually struggle. There are so many movies that show that people can get the multi-timeline stories, but they have to be told in a specific way to appeal to the audience they're actually going for. I feel that the Japan, because of its cultural way of telling stories, is more geared towards seeing non-linear time, whereas Western audiences, I feel, do more prefer Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I find really interesting is we have, even Btooom does it, where effectively you start off and everyone's on the island, right? And it cuts back to effectively how they got there, what led them there, what put them on this path of hell, right? We have it with other shows like this, but so there are shows that do it well, but there are also shows that do it poorly. Again,
counterpoint to both what I said earlier about 5 storylines and what you both have said. One of the biggest shows for a while in the early 2000s was Lost. And Lost had both past and present and future and present storylines that were happening at the same time in the episodes to many different characters. And people ate it up. Fun.
So,
but I will go further than that. What is one of the most recognizable Tarantino movies?
Pulp Fiction.
No, okay. 2 movies. 2 movies. I said one of, not the most.
Kill Bill.
Yes. What does that have in it? Non-linear storytelling.
Storylines, yeah.
I argue against that.
You start off the first movie going after Oren.
Technically, you don't.
Yes, that's what she's doing. You start off going after Oren, but you then go back and you go after Sylvie, and roll her down, and then you have the bride. You have the bride explained. You have the other things. No, sorry, you don't. You have her. Sorry, you have her going after.
I can't remember her name.
Cottonmouth.
Is it Cottonmouth?
Yes, the
either way, you definitely see
it's the
flashbacks.
suburban woman. She drives up. She drives up in the pussy wagon to this suburban house, and she has a fight with her in her living room, and then shoots her when knifes her when Cottonmouth tries to shoot her through the cereal box. So you see that bit. Then you go back and you explain where she got there, and you explain how the coma and finding the pussy wagon, and then you go after Oren, but you then go backtrack and go after Sylphie to show how she found Oren, and you then go back again to show how Sylphie was there on the phone, talking to somebody and laughing during the wedding, and you then see her.
I mean, like,
you also see her going after the sword as well to go get the sword in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, like, minor little flashbacks I don't agree with, but big narrative direction changes with, like, the whole wedding scene, the training at the
High May's tutelage. Yes,
yeah, exactly. Yes. That works.
Yes, exactly. But you go back and forth quite a lot, but again, it's all consistent because of the way it's told. You get to see where the context is, but they introduce it in like a Shakespearean.
I love how we've pivoted so massively.
We have, but you can tell if you want to go through the influence. Kill Bill, Tarantino must have watched Ninja Scroll before he did this.
Oh no, he actually he watched there was another live action thing with a character that actually was called Hattori Hanzo. There's the director's commentary where he talks about this. He was an absolute fan of this film series, and it had like Hattori Hanzo the first, the second, the third, the so on and so forth. And it was generational versions of Hattori Hanzo. And then the idea is that in Kill Bill, he's like the 50th generation of Hattori Hanzo.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So, but there's also, what I mean is when I say Ninja Scroll, there's homages to Ninja Scroll as an anime, like the fight with Oren in the snow. There's literally a climactic fight between her and Oren in the snow that's mirrored in Ninja Scroll. It's an homage to it, done as a set piece.
Doesn't surprise me. Ninja Scroll's amazing.
This is where I got my this is my little nod to that anime that I enjoyed, right? And there's more throughout the show, throughout the movies that reference back to the show. But so we've gone through that with a non-linear time. So the only other movies to really bring up and the influences are where we've gone back and forth between Disney and anime again, and we get something like Kimba the White Lion versus The Lion King. And this loops us all the way back round to your earlier point of archetypal stories.
Yeah, because aren't they both just
it's
Hamlet?
Macbeth. Hamlet. Sorry, yes, it's Hamlet. It's Hamlet with lions.
Yeah.
Well, I can't speak that of Kimba, because from what I have seen for Kimba, putting these like screenshots together, they look. They're nothing like Hamlet at all. But I mean,
I'll try and track down this video again and maybe put it in the comment or in the description. But I've seen a video breaking down exactly why Kimba is not the Lion King, or the Lion King is not Kimba. But people latched on to the fact that the names are so similar. And I think one incarnation of Kimba does closely resemble the Lion King.
What I was getting at is that Tezuka. Tezuka Productions actually opted against. They came out and made a statement. They opted against a lawsuit against Disney for this production of The Lion King.
Yeah,
because of how similar it was. Just because they didn't think they could win against Disney's top lawyers.
Well, I can imagine that.
Yes. But so the things like the similarities, like Kimba on Pride Rock, it's literally the same. Like it's a flipped and reversed scene. To that when Simba is roaring on Pride Rock to when Kimba is roaring on a rocking out on an outcrop of rock that looks very, very similar. the visual similarities of that, like the older Kimba versus the older Simba, are very, very strong. There
Strange
are
how a lion looks like
references.
a lion. Wow.
Even no. I mean, even posing. Even the fact that the baboon supporting character being a bit mystical, and the talking bird that's small and annoying and is the older king's secretary.
There is a lot of similarities, right? But the big thing is there's a weird human component to the series that, like, I know nothing about, and I'm like, I'm surprised how much humans are having anything to do with Kimba. So you get like people that kidnap them, and
I think the argument would be that those things were stripped out of to make the Lion King.
Quite possibly.
And some of the characters were actually replaced with Timon and Pumbaa.
Sure.
Yeah. Again, the hyenas look extremely similar to the Lion King ones. I don't know who the haggard-looking lion is that looks very reminiscent of Scar, that has a scar on his eye, and again, I just got these screenshots together, sort of thing, so I can't really speak to it too much, but just going through the first 3 episodes of Kimba, I can fucking draw the parallels to the Lion King.
Definitely.
But how much of that is actual thievery, and how much of that is unintended inspiration? Because I mean, lions do pose a certain way in the wild, even, and
no, I'll give you
Disney,
that. But
we have seen behind the scenes footage where the animators were studying actual animals for their work.
No, I 100%.
I will counter that, actually. That I've extensive experience following lions. I spent multiple years going to Central Africa to follow and sneak up on and take photos of lions. I have the photographic evidence to prove how close I got to the damn things. Okay, lions don't like roar on the top of outcrops like that.
Well, sure,
it's entirely cinematic, and the places, like Pride Rock, lions wouldn't live there.
I think it's the choice of character designs and character choices. The fact that the old sage character being a baboon, right? The annoying
but birds are depicted like that.
Animal,
birds. Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the bird rather than like
no, the baboon. The baboon.
No, but you were talking about you were switching to an annoying something.
Yeah, I was going to swap to the bird.
Yeah, but birds
right?
are depicted like that a lot, where they're annoying and talk fast and have kind of bird brains, and
this is the one you're
looking at.
Zazu
wasn't, but this one isn't, and so neither is Zazu. They're not annoying characters. They are officious,
aren't they, though?
And secretarial. Yeah, they're a bit annoying, but they're only annoying to the characters in the movie.
Okay. Here's one for you, Nasuth. Right. So Kimba is, I think basically Kimba's captured with his mum, right? They're on a boat, they're on a ship, and Kimba gets free, and his mum's like, just go, just get out of here. And he and a bunch of other animals are like, oh no, he is swimming in the ocean, I think, trying to get back to Africa, right? And he sees his mum outlined in stars in the sky as she guides him towards Africa. And it's just like,
yes, ancestors appearing in the stars has never been used in any other media in history. Yeah,
never.
For sure.
Never.
Not like that.
For sure.
Never.
For sure.
Yeah.
Never.
I'm not saying I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that there are plausible other explanations. It's unlikely.
I mean,
the more of them start to pile together, the less likely it is. But there are other plausible explanations.
Exactly.
I mean, dude, this came out in fucking 65. Come on. Right. Anyway.
Do we want to just like quickly run through the other ones that we didn't get to, or do we want to just like move
sure,
on?
yeah. Let's just do some honorable mentions.
So we had instead of the
Edge
of
of
Tomorrow is all you need is kill, which I was kind of
That's only a manga.
Yes. It's only a manga, so we don't
It's
have
only a
thing in
manga.
there. But the similarities again, the looping, the mech suits, the
I thought it was supposed to be like directly inspired by.
yeah, it's directly inspired by that.
Okay.
And it's basically a live action adaptation of the manga.
Sure.
So
the armor in Clash of the Titans is based off of the armor in the original Saint Seiya.
well, specifically the god armor is based off the armor in Saint Seiya. Because of the body fitting, the broad shoulders, and everything else. The director himself actually said he approved of the character designs because they resemble the Saint Seiya ones, and they're a bit of an homage to him.
Fair.
So Lucy shares a lot of similarities with Elfen Lied.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Oh yeah, hang on. Where's my little thing for that? Hang on 1 second. Let me go find it. Yeah. So aside from the difference in that in Lucy, it's what happens if a human can access 100% of their brain. According to the movie, what happens is pretty much what happens in Elfen Lied. So it's an experimental thing that boosts Lucy's brain capacity, but it explores all the themes of human cruelty, what it means to be human, and the question that comes back in Lucy is whether the heightened abilities and heightened intelligence make her still human, whereas the actual themes that Lucy from Elfen Lied goes through are very much the same, questioning whether she's not human, because she's actually genuinely a different species at this point, but the powers are almost identical in terms of their effects.
No, they're not. No, in hell they're not.
Yeah, I'll stop that. The high intelligence and mental powers, despite the change there, but it's often shown as being as just as compassionate as humans, as strong tendency towards logic, the same way Lucy is, and coupled with the difference of how the humans treat them.
I'll give you how
same themes addressed in the film that they are in the series.
I'll give you that, how humans treat either Lucy. I'll 100% give you that. But we could also then draw parallels between Elfen Lied and the X-Men because of how humans treat the different. Right? It's like
but that's just one element
with
out
Lucy
of
and Elfen Lied, because you've got the violence and ease of killing humans that both of the main characters have. The overriding more logical approach that actually seems to inhibit some of the emotional response, but when the emotional response actually happens, it's very clear why, and it's all based on the treatment of them by the person in question.
I don't. No, I don't.
All right, let's not get too caught up on.
Okay, let's keep going. Just keep going.
So, Transcendence shares similarities with Serial Experiments Lain. Apparently,
Yes,
She-Ra.
Yes.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so that was based on the idea that the main character of Transcendence uploads himself into a computer and becomes a sentient person on the internet, and and gains basically power through his control of computers and his thing. Whereas Serial Experiments Lain is just a person that's made up from data, from collected experiences of humans that have come together to form a person, and she thinks that she's real.
Spoilers ahead,
yes.
by the way.
So that's
to me, she's a lot more like the. Did you ever read the Ender's Game series?
I didn't actually read all of it. No.
Well, later on,
there's a general plot.
Character that appears out of what they call the Wired. No, the Wired is in this. Appears out of the Ansible network. Who is essentially pure data. Yeah. So that was always the similarity to me.
Yes.
I had a comparison for Ender's Game and an anime. I can't remember what the fuck it was. Anyway, yeah.
So She-Ra, Princess of Power, shares a lot of similarities with Utena. A lot of girl power, a lot of, don't rely on a man, or don't rely on somebody else, be your own prince. Ready Player One, it has a lot of Sword Art Online did it first.
Did it though? Because it was a book a long time before Sword Art Online came out, so I'm not sure.
Shush
we have to check on the dates on that one. Similar to Mad Max and Fist of the North Star, there may be some overlap between the manga and the book.
Shush you.
Gravity shares a lot in common with Planet S, which yes. for sure, very realistic look at space. And Tokyo Drift shares a lot in common with Initial D, including having way too many seasons.
I was absolutely flabbergasted how many seasons Initial D has. Right, I was like, wait, what? And movies. So yeah, I would at least say the roots of Initial D. Sorry, I knew roots of Fast and the Furious, along with Initial D. But
especially something like Tokyo Drift, probably.
Yeah, more than like. Well, I mean, Tokyo Drift was where Vin Diesel noped out because it was just like the franchise was just not.
So they had to take that one character transferring that they managed to. They had to take him out of America for some reason, so they put him into Japan, and that kind of worked out for him at least.
It's about family.
Yep.
Right.
It's about family.
So let's go ahead and I think we're done with that. So let's move on.
Cool. Right. So I think I just want to cover some conclusions. Right. I think it would be nice to talk about our points. I don't think at any point in time it is wrong to neglect mentioning whether or not something is influenced by or sourced by, or I don't think it's a necessity to say, hey, look, Kimba the White Lion is clearly a
source for
a source for the Lion King. I don't think that's necessary, because we're at a stage in society now where
nothing's really new. It's all just rearrangements of things that have already been told before. Yeah.
I mean, like, I've got stories in my head that I'd love to put pen to paper, but in reality, like, Ready Player One already exists, Sword Art Online already exists, Cyberpunk already exists. So it's like.
I think the thing to take is that if you actually genuinely have had parallel evolution of an idea, then people should believe that. But it is not wrong to point out the similarities that exist between media, not maliciously, because we are the sum of our experiences. So if there are direct similarities between X and Y, then it just shows that those two things
it's also a case of, like,
cross people's minds.
If you like X, maybe you'll like Y because they share these similarities.
Yes. And also, be proud of your sources, of your inspirations. Anime isn't niche anymore as a thing. So saying, oh yeah, I saw this really great design from this show, and so I really wanted to pay homage to that by putting my characters in something similar, like with the Saint Seiya Clash of the Titan. Be proud that you've come from some influences, and you've told a good story based on something else. Even if you're taking some plot points have been taken from so many other things before. That's normal now. You're right.
We don't see something wrong with people retelling a Shakespearean story. Why do we have a problem with somebody retelling a more modern story? It's like,
yeah.
Fuck, I mean, like, look at anime. Look across all fucking anime. How often is there a JoJo's reference that...
Yeah.
It's just like, why is there a JoJo's reference in Azumanga Daioh? Or why is there a JoJo's reference in... it's like, you see it all the damn time, right? I don't think there's... And it's more of, if anything, it just seems to be like a tongue-in-cheek nod to it's like, we recognize our source, wink,
exactly. And it's
anyway,
that can make it fun. That can make something for you to talk about in your director's interviews, or your or show off with your script writers when you do the making of documentary. You could say, oh yeah, no, we really wanted to do something similar to this, but with a new twist on it, or we really wanted to just like say to the fans, yeah, we see what you're seeing, and so we just pop this in there. We put Garfield in the back of our shop because we really like Garfield.
Some of the earliest work for Gainax was actually, I think it was the Daikon 4 and Daikon 5 trailers, which were sci-fi conventions. And they just straight up like used other characters, but put it in their style and had them interacting with their character throughout. Because it was like, oh, here, you're sci-fi fans. We love sci-fi too. Look how much we love sci-fi. And it was really cool. It was really nice.
And I think that another side of it is you got to realize that people will be influenced by everything around them, whether or not they are fully consciously aware of it, right? I mean, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if because there's a lot of similarities between the White Walkers in Game of Thrones and effectively the undead in Warcraft, right? Like, it's the parallels are fucking there. It's just like, oh, what's this? Mindless automatons, or effectively, mindless zombies that is controlled by the king. Wink. Anyway, right. But there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. The only thing is, I think people need to not get so bent out of shape when someone says, "Oh, is your thing referenced by that?" Don't get bent out of shape when they say no. You're welcome to believe what you want. Right.
Exactly.
Should we move on to the supporter questions?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Right, let's find them. Right, okay, cool. Here we go.
You
supporter
guys.
questions. Right.
There. Supporters of Xeno on the Discord. Right.
So, Zrugel says, it is now time for the supporter questions. So while I'm doing that, you folks at home can make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it if you can. It really is the best for the metrics for the show. It really is the best metric for you to show YouTube that you like what we do. Yes, brain.
Of course.
Bad. No sponge. No sponge, brain. Brain
no,
sponge
more
broke.
like a sieve.
Right. Yes. Right, so Zrugel says, how many times has Nasuth interrupted you this episode?
So many.
Not many.
Actually, probably not as many as I usually do, but still a few times.
I can remember 4.
Yeah.
I give him so much shit for interrupting me after we record, and he has slowly stopped doing it. When he gets super excited, that's when he interrupts you.
Yes. But that's just good because it means he's super excited for the topic at hand. So I don't mind that. I make jokes about it, like putting my hand down.
Oh my god. Yeah. Riku says, it's the same time for the supporter questions. Bear with our illustrious host while more questions are asked. Did I tell you to like and subscribe already?
I believe this is the 3rd time now. Yes.
Okay, so Riku says, how many gestures has Thaylien made this far in this episode? I mean, I swear to God, he's done 5 since we started the supporter questions.
At least.
Right.
I think if we don't count nose scratches and face shifts, I'm well into the 60s or 70s.
Right. Nasuth asks, if you could have a crossover between 3 anime shows, what would they be? Bang Braven, Gurren Lagann,
I think for me it's Death Note.
Voltron.
Voltron. For me it's Death Note, Sword Art Online, and Kingdoms of Ruin, and I just hope that they all kill each other.
Oh god.
Xeno. Original Voltron or DreamWorks Voltron?
DreamWorks Voltron.
Okay. I think I'd go for Frieren, Dungeon Meshi, and probably something more silly like Konosuba.
Ah.
Konosuba.
Yeah, because having Kazuma and Aqua dealing with competent adventurers that are actually not doing something, they are doing something a bit odd. Along with Frieren being like the support for as a mage and everything, I think that would just play off each other really well.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd love to see that. Right. Thaylien, for real this time, asks, many anime enjoy a style of comedy that's more slapstick, with quick movements and gestures timed with sound effects. They are easy to animate, question that, and it doesn't matter if the characters go off model. Okay, that's definitely. Have you ever seen an anime where a character does more set comedy, like genuine stand-up, or telling jokes to... yes, actually fucking yes. Oh my god, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. It never got a it's never had a translation, but it's about a style of Japanese comedy, very much like kabuki theater. Fuck, what's it called? I can't... I'm gonna have to find this. I'm gonna have to bloody find this. And...
link it in the Discord.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll put a link in the Discord. I'll do my damnedest to find this, but it was like... It was a lot of it was a play on the language, like, the puns and things like that. And they have this like meme style that goes around, like "There's no tomorrow," which is the outro to the actual anime. It's about, I think it's 5 different female comedians. It's so funny.
Just sound interesting.
Yep. What about you guys?
No, I
was asking because it's one of those things that's very rare. I haven't seen one, and I'm very used to the slapstick style of fast, straight man, funny man style of comedy that they do. So, if you find it, let me know because I kind of want to see it.
Yeah. I'll endeavour to find it. And then Thaylien, for real this time, also asks, since I, Xeno, am going to go see Dune Part 2, after recording this episode, I'm hoping that Thaylien doesn't spoil it for me in one sentence after finishing reading this, which is why I'm going to keep talking as if I'm reading this question. He looks at me and waiting for me to finish reading, but I don't think I'll let him. Instead, I'm going to appeal to Nasuth to say something before Thaylien can. Nasuth, are you planning to go see Dune Part 2 in the cinema?
Well, I haven't seen Dune Part 1 yet, so no.
I mean, to be fair though, I know what's going to happen because I've seen all the other incarnations. No, I haven't read the books, but I've seen all the other. I've seen all the other video, TV, and movie incarnations.
Even the old ones from the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
The one with James McAvoy in it.
Yeah.
I actually really like
terrible worms they had in that one.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I will say one thing to the positive, without spoiling anything. There are hundreds of times in that movie where you can pause it and just make it your desktop wallpaper. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a plus for it. Anyway.
No, I loved the ornithopter design in the first one. Right. Okay, so we're moving on to the comments. First from the news. Zrul says, whose camera seems to have frozen?
Mine has. Oh well.
No?
No. My head's stuck in one direction.
Yeah. His head's stuck. Right, anyway. So, first off, the comments from the news. Zrul says, if I had to guess, I'd say that the National Gallery in London's partnership with Detective Conan is...
Oh, and there goes my internet. No. Should have been a clue.
After Nasuth's internet decraps itself and Xeno and Thaylien have an argument for 7 hours, Right, so moving on to the comments. Right, so first off, the comments from the news. Zrul says, if I had to guess, I'd say the National Gallery in London's partnership with Detective Conan is because Conan really likes Sherlock Holmes. I guess that's pretty obvious.
You say that.
Not to me.
We didn't put that together.
I mean, you know, I've not watched Detective Conan. That hammer was a surprise wine corkscrew, and I had the same reaction to it. Yep. I think you've shown it to us before as well. Strong Michelle says, I remember hearing about the outrage for Tifa's outfit change. It's such a minor change and everything. It's just like, geez. Some people just need to complain about something. The good old what's Twitter freaking out about now, which is such a good segment. Yep, happens.
It's a horrible segment, but it's a good segment.
Yep. Surprised to hear Crunchyroll is stepping up to compensate people for stuff they already bought but won't get to keep. I hope, like Xeno, it's more than just an amount, but I guess anything is better than nothing. We'll see. Right, and now moving on to the comments from the cast.
If I bought something for $20 and I got a penny back, I'd feel insulted. I'd be like,
yeah, that's
yeah.
If you just give me a piece of paper saying we're sorry, and that would be more value than a penny. Right. Anyway, so moving on to the comments from the cast. Right, so first off, Stromba Shell. This is basically what the debate between me and Thaylien was. So are you saying that One Punch Man was bad because the only prominent women were catty? Or that women aren't or can't be catty? I mean, men can be dumb and argumentative too. Case in point, Thaylien. Right.
I definitely am dumb and argumentative. So
right. I feel, and there's more. Right. I feel like this episode was just finding arbitrary reasons why various anime are bad. It's a funny discussion, but I don't really respect these tests as much as my own vibe check. I don't mean to sound annoyed, but how many Kanpai Cast episodes pass these tests? Not trying to pick a fight, since I really respect the work and effort you guys put in, and saying that you don't pass an arbitrary test that someone else made up isn't fair. Now, may I say my piece? Well,
yes.
You are correct, Strombus, right? This is a show... This is a show, right, about opinions. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. We do not say anyone's opinion is wrong, right? We do not claim opinions are facts either, right? If you don't want to agree to these tests, that is entirely up to you, and I respect you for it, because I certainly don't fucking agree with these tests.
Yeah, I personally find them shallow, but yeah.
Yeah, it is trying to...
They're like an interesting starting point. They're like... Can you just? Is there a discussion to be had here? It's like if you're looking for something specifically that has good representation of X group, they'll help you narrow that down. But if you don't, if you just want to watch something good, they're not going to really help you.
Yes. So my point on this was that the tests are not saying that the show is bad because they don't pass the tests. Okay, they're saying that representation is important, and in much like Dungeons and Dragons, where no D&D is better than bad D&D, there's a certain argument to be made that in some cases, that not having representation at all can be better than bad representation.
I'd argue that these don't even necessarily help you say something is bad representation.
So, like the sexy lamp thing. The sexy lamp's a really good one, because if a character can be taken out and replaced with an object, right, then why have that character at all? If that's the only reason a character is in the film, whether they're man or woman or anything, then why were they there? Okay, they could have been taken out. They didn't have to be there. And again, it doesn't matter whether they're man, woman, black, white, LGBT or not. If they're in there and it's just a pointless thing for them to be there, just filling out the background, you don't have to include them. And that's,
but you don't
again,
have to
no representation is better than bad. So it's a way of trying to start a discussion and help improve shows. See if there is a way to improve the representation by seeing what can be done to make it better, even in small ways.
I'm not sure I fully agree with that, but I think Xeno's really like biting his tongue, waiting to say something else.
Oh, I am. I really fucking am.
You could tell by the fact that he's disappeared almost up to his nose in his own beard.
Look, here's the thing. Take everything with a pinch of salt. It is a method of trying to formulate a complex problem with an easy solution, right? That is the big thing, and a lot of these tests don't fucking do the job right.
The problem with real life is that it's all shades of gray. There is no black and white.
And that's what these tests try to do, is they try to turn it into black and white, and it's just like, just don't fucking try, please. Right, so yes, you are fine.
And I found it to be an interesting thought experiment and an interesting way to look at these anime in a different light that you might not have considered before. Yeah.
Right, Zrula says, "Oh my, Advent Children is quite a second gear to hit." Yeah. After we did the episode, where the three of us started berating Nick for that life decision. Next, Zrugel also says, "I don't understand the Furiosa test." Neither did I. I would think it is a good thing if you can swap a gender of the MC and it still be a good story / make sense. Granted, my favorite feminine character is Seraphi?
Yes.
From Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, and I don't think the story would make sense if she was swapped with a male. But generally, I think it's it's a sign of a good story if the character's gender doesn't matter. Though
yes and no.
No. I agree with you, right? Zrugel, personally, I agree with you. I'm speaking for myself and only myself. However, I think for good written characters, you should consider the experiences that character would have gone through, and that would include the experiences they would go through based on their gender, right? I've had female friends of mine that I treat no differently than my male friends, but they have had life experiences that have been quite often shocking, and it's just like, wow, I never knew you went through that. Right, and also I completely agree with you with the kitty comment. Yeah.
Kitty.
Oh, should have gotten this out of the way already. Queued up.
Cat tax.
Right, I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add on to that last comment. No. Okay, sure. Right, should we move on to the memes then?
Yes, let's move on to a later topic.
Memes. Everyone comes for the memes.
Everyone comes for the memes. So we have our memes mostly from Reddit, and we have them all archived on our website in the links below, so that you can go.
Oh, that's something we should have put in housekeeping. Zeno fixed the archive, which was not working recently.
No, but they didn't know that, Nasuth.
Well, they do now.
So, we also feature up to 6 memes a week from you, the viewers, if you want to go and submit them onto the Kanpai Cast Discord in the relevant section. And
we see none of them
beforehand. We don't see them beforehand, yeah. So,
we also don't see each other's, because that's... so we've got 4 viewer memes this week, and I believe Xeno's 4th meme is also a little spicy. Is that right?
It is spicy. It is
not me this time.
Look forward to that. But starting out with the viewer memes. Me finding a new anime to fill my empty heart with. My 200 plus anime.
Oh, Charlotte.
Oh, it's so true.
Such a good series.
Right, on to number 2.
Senpai of the Pool, what is your wisdom? The person reading this is very cute. Aww.
I'm not.
I didn't plan that.
Anyway, Sniff 3.
What?
Jujutsu Kaisen, Warframe, using the villain's
Thaylien,
severed
your mic's not
fingers of
working.
power source. Yeah, Thaylien,
Thalien's-
Thaylien again. Oh.
Thaylien broke his mic.
Should we pause? No, he says no.
No.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I get that. Yep, because of the Requiem drive or the Reliquary drive. And the fourth meme.
I'm so happy that we're finally getting married. You know, when we first met, I was really attracted to you. But the way that you were constantly unnecessarily hostile to me for being a woman online, that really won me over.
I saw this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Shots fired.
I rejected that for a Twitter meme because I was like, I just want funny thing. I don't want, but
Lol.
yeah, it's not the worst thing. Anyway,
I think my mic's fixed now, so let's enjoy. Yay!
Nasuth's first meme, however, is not fixed.
Yeah, I don't know why. Let's try that again. There we go.
Burgers on my mind. Ketchup, mustard, mayo, fries, lettuce, and number 9. And all these onion burgers trying to get me off my grind. But I can't let them do it. I got burgers on my mind. Yes, I got burgers on my mind.
Is it too loud for you? Sorry.
So loud! I got burgers on my mind. Burgers on my mind. Burgers on my mind. I got burgers on my mind. I got burgers on my mind. I got burgers on my mind.
That should be better now.
Dear fucking Christ, man, that was just deafening.
I don't know why it was so
I'm
loud
sorry,
for you.
the flash to Mayo, and you know what scene it
Oh
was.
my god. Oh my god.
I don't know why it was so loud for you, but I'm sorry. I apologize. I have 3 other video memes too, so
let's
get ready
make
for,
sure we don't. Let's make sure we don't deafen anyone in the render.
In the actual
all right,
film.
all right. All right, number 2. There's a. Oh gosh, it's so small.
Do you want me
There's
to
a
read it?
really
It's a really
handsome
handsome
man.
man.
I want. Yes, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
There's a really handsome man I want to have babies with. Too bad.
He's my son. So
So you
put him in
an
a ways
kind you can dodge the law.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Yep, there you go. That's anime for you. Right, number 3.
What you reading? Oh, you reading Demon Slayer? Yo, that looks fire. Wait, hold on. Right now. What's this? Oh, what's it? Nah, what is it?
Moving on.
Was that sorry? Was that too quiet now, or was that fine?
No, we got it. Move on. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
good.
fine.
All right,
it's fine.
all right. Okay, why did you send me Mahito? Imagine getting hit from him. Must be heaven. I should have made this an
Oh my god!
I forgot about this.
How is this not? Say okay.
Yeah. This is totally
Just imagine it though.
Oops.
I mean,
That reaction
You're not
image,
wrong.
though. Like, what the fuck, dude?
still.
All right. And the last 2 are video memes. Anime characters rated for the anime villains to be enemy villains to stop monologuing and wait, why did it cut?
Anime characters waiting for villains to stop monologuing. Anime villains waiting for the characters to stop monologuing.
Oh yes, sorry, I'm reading it
Two
across
columns.
instead of up and down like an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
It's the exact same thing though. Yeah.
Reverse.
Professional Pixar animator fighting the average Overwatch quote-unquote animator, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Definitely safe for work, though.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually read that out loud because I didn't know what the fuck it was. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
All right, Thaylien, on to yours.
Nobody. The devil watching everyone draw him as a suave, handsome, muscular dude.
Yep. 24 hours.
What the fuck?
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yep. Why are you so quiet? What's on your mind? That's why. That's why I don't talk when I don't talk.
We're gonna straighten you out! This'll fix you! Now let's get that one!
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Yes, very, very straight now.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Thaylien.
Breaking news. 10,000-year-old mask found. A group of travelers found a human-looking stone mask. Me, who's seen the anime, put that thing back where it came from. Also, help me.
I love it. I appreciate a good JoJo reference.
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite! Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
Oh my god.
Wait, did Binging and Babish actually do donut shape? Holy shit!
Yes.
I
It's so
need
wholesome.
this for notice me
So
senpai,
bad.
actually. That's amazing.
There's the glaze, there's the sugar. And
Oh
the
my
filling,
God.
Did he use
here's
like rice
the,
powder?
Looks like it.
He'll
Rice flour,
actually
rice
do a
flour.
proper video. I'll find you the video. I'll find you the video.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yep. Donuts.
Oh my god.
So
Jelly
cool.
filled donuts.
Right. And your last one.
Oh, is this what I think it is?
Totally safe for work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next.
I nearly went for this one,
Unless you
but they did the whole fucking trailer.
prove to yourself that you have the strength
Okay, is that the rest of the? Is that the end of the anime?
to be free.
That is a little
It
bit
comes
more,
back a little bit like that.
Okay, all right. Hashtag not sponsored.
not sponsored.
This makes me want to go play though.
Exotic new life form.
Kill them.
And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy.
I just love the
Democracy
chest bump.
managed.
The chest bump is just so fucking hilarious.
Become a helldiver.
It do be like that though.
Was that your sixth meme?
Yes, that was the sixth.
I think it was. Yes.
Okay, so moving on to my ones then.
So the one that I
Right.
nearly...
Yeah. Month, day. Month, day, yeah. Day, month, yeah. You're disgusting! Yep.
Yes.
I like naming files. Year, month, day.
Oh, as a developer, it's always year, month, day for me.
Yeah, but day, month, year is pretty nice too. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's a designer to come up with everything.
So this is like what's on trending on Twitter,
Game
right?
Gates.
Yep. Wake the fuck up! It's 2014. Yep.
Nice.
No game, no life. Right.
oh, how simple those days were.
Yep. Right, strong female character, Hollywood, Japan.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
This is the one that I had to change mine out because I spotted it with the same code. You bastard got there first.
Yep.
Oh, and here comes the spicy meme. Well, prepare yourself. Close your laptop if you're at work. Anyway.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you're saying your grandfather met Frieren. He must have liked her a lot. He did. How could you tell? Just a hunch.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, at least I put a warning.
It's got everything though. It's got the bottle. It's got the feet. Yep. There you go.
Yep. Then number 5. No sound? Oh, no. I think it's just quiet to begin with.
Private Pile, why is your buttlocker unlocked? Sir, I don't know, sir. Private Pile, if there is one thing in this world that I hate, it is an unlocked buttlocker. You know that, don't you? Sir, yes, sir. If it wasn't for dickheads like you, there wouldn't be any favor in this world, would there? Sir, no, sir. Get out!
There's gonna be weeb stuff in here, isn't there? There's just gonna be a bunch of weeb stuff.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that, Private Pile? Sir, jelly donuts, sir. Jelly donuts?
Nice.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Yep.
Two jelly donuts and completely unrelated. Two jelly donuts in one episode.
Yep. And then my 6th meme.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
Dad, this is
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to shoot him. I just want to talk.
Oh shoot. Hang on. Sorry, I think I shook the.
Yeah,
I was shaking the thing as I was bringing it back, and Windows was like, "Oh, you wanted to just shrink everything." Yeah, I did. And Xeno's
like again. It's done it again, Nasuth. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
There you have to maximize it, Nasuth.
Oh my gosh. Everything broke. There we
Just
go.
fix it in post.
Well, yeah,
Thalien's frozen?
Thalien's frozen.
No, his camera picture's frozen on the...
Let's quickly wrap up before my internet dies again.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Fine.
Right.
I'm back.
Okay, just edit it in post. Right, well, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you very much for watching, listening. I hope you enjoyed the memes. Tell us of any anime references that you thought, and whether or not you think that... inspirations that you thought we missed, and whether or not you think that shit should be cited. You know, Pacific Rim needs to cite all of Gundam.
Or whether you just think you should own your references. You know?
Yeah, just fucking own them. Right. That's it. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and time to bottoms up and come on! I ran out. I've already... It's already
Tradition.
on.